few days ago, I made a promise to you in a little video. I created it here by the fire pit, put it in the Prince of Peace. Maybe you watched it. I was looking ahead to this day of Pentecost. I was so excited for this festival coming and the coming of the promised Holy Spirit. I anticipated the reading of Acts 2 like I anticipate the reading of the Nativity story on Christmas Eve or the open tomb on Easter Sunday. I didn't want you to miss church, didn't want you to miss coming together in your homes on the day of Pentecost. I wanted us all to be able to open our eyes and hearts and minds to the power of the Holy Spirit, to stir again our faith, our hope, our love, to be baptized with the Holy Spirit, to be called and sent into a broken and hurting world. And I wanted the fire of this fire pit to demonstrate the fire of Pentecost. That was my hope. I promised there would be fire. But there's no fire here. I'm looking for the fire of Pentecost. And I fear it's been snuffed out. I fear. Because for the last 3 days, I've been waking up to news of another fire. Fires in Minneapolis and St. Paul, igniting protests in other communities around the country. What happened this week in Minneapolis to George Floyd is an outrage. And the outcry and the protests that have been ignited, it has all caused me to lament. The whole thing from the act and the video that reported it, to the passionate outcry and the protest in response, and the fires. My heart wants to grieve and to cry out, where's Pentecost? Our broken world needs a Pentecost. Where is the Pentecost fire? In so many places, so many communities across this great land, the Pentecost fire of justice and mercy and fairness and kindness that were kindled in the upper room in Jerusalem among the friends and followers of Jesus seems nowhere to be found. And so I lament. And yet today, we heard the story of the coming of the Holy Spirit, sweeping up the friends and the followers of Jesus in its mighty wind. What an amazing account of the fire of the Spirit igniting hearts and minds, giving them newfound courage and nerve. How it stirred them from placidness, throwing them out of the room and into the street, from where they were singing and praying together, and out with gifts and abilities they never knew they had, engaging strangers across cultural differences, moving across barriers that for so long had separated people from each other. We heard the reading, the account of this and these things happening today. And we believe the account that God the Holy Spirit was moving upon this body of people, turning them into a force of mercy and justice and kindness and courage that they never imagined they could have had. Let's not fool ourselves. Though let's not fool ourselves to think that that was an easier time or a more receptive world. Their world was every bit as broken as ours is today. Only a few 50 days prior to Pentecost, there was a huge miscarriage of justice. A man was charged and tried and killed. His light had been life, his message was love, and his actions kindled hope, but he was silenced and tortured and killed. Yet a flame flickered among his friends and followers when word that got out that he'd appeared to some and that the tomb was empty. No one could have imagined that the powers of corruption and revenge and retribution that had taken this life would somehow not have the final word. No one would have believed that out of the dry and rotting wood of a broken down world, new life could spring forth, that a new fire could be ignited, the fire of love and mercy, forgiveness and kindness. This is the fire that was kindled on the day of Pentecost, the fire of love and mercy and justice that raised Jesus from the dead. This is the fire that swept into their lives in the upper room, with one catching fire alongside the other until the whole community of friends and followers couldn't hold it back. All their fears and all their hurts would not stop them any longer. The love and mercy and kindness and hope that they had in Jesus now set their hearts ablaze anew. This community of friends and followers was set afire, and their fire spread. And let's not fool ourselves. The destructive fires of injustice and hurt and anger and violence can be ignited anywhere, at any time, not only in the Twin Cities, in any city, any community, in any family. We live in a broken world, really. The embers of love and generosity and fairness and kindness are too often extinguished before they even start. So, dear people of Peace Lutheran Church and all who are listening today, let the fires of Pentecost begin. And let the fires of Pentecost begin not here in a fire pit, warm and cozy, gathering round, not here in a building, but let the fires of Pentecost burn afresh in your hearts and lives, in your home and in your neighborhood because of you today. May the winds of the Holy Spirit blow upon those embers that lie within us, quiet Lutherans. May the winds of the Holy Spirit fan the flames of love and faith and hope and justice and kindness. May the winds of the Holy Spirit set ablaze our hearts and minds, ablaze the people and the programs of Peace Lutheran Church, all. May all the wider community know there will be fire. Let all the wider community know there will be fire, a fire of faith that can give warmth in a time of cold distancing. There will be fire, the fire of hope that can give light when we can't see the future or what it holds. There will be fire, the fire of love that burns through fear and gives birth to courage and nerve. May all the neighborhood, may all the neighborhoods know that Peace Lutheran Church is set ablaze with the Spirit, on fire with faith, with hope, with love. My prayer is this: shine, Jesus, shine. Blaze, Spirit, blaze. Set our hearts on fire. Blow, Spirit, blow. Sweep across the nations, our homes, our neighborhoods, and our cities, our structures, and our systems. Blow, Spirit, blow with grace and mercy. Send forth your Spirit, Lord, and let there be fire.